Right, let's all go. Hi guys, welcome to today's lesson on how to play the outro solo from Some Might Say live at the Maine Road gig in 1996, and it was the first night. Very long title. Obviously I'll put a link in the description below of the video that I used to transcribe this solo from. It's a really cool solo. It is, you know, Oasis at the height of their powers. So let's just crack on and go through it. So obviously, if you watch the video, he's got his Union Jack 335, so that's the kind of tone we're going for. Obviously with me I've got my Strats, but so it won't sound quite tonally correct, but we'll get somewhere in the ballpark. And you can hear near the end there's quite a lot of delay going on. So at the start there's not that much, and then obviously at the end there's quite a lot. So just a little bit of a note there, if you were playing it trying to be super accurate, you do want to stomp on your delay pedal part way through. So key is basically B minor or D major, depending on your philosophical bent. First part of the solo is very kind of traditional Noel Gallagher licks, the kind of stuff we'd expect Noel Gallagher to play. And then it's this really interesting melodic line. It's not particularly hard to play, it's just a really nice interesting melodic line. And then that final bit, as I say, which has quite a lot of delay on, is quite hard to transcribe, so I think I got it right. It's taken me ages, and we'll go through that as well. And that's more, again, back to the traditional Noel Gallagher style licks, and this is like his fast licks that he plays, and he plays the same licks although in a different key in songs like Don't Look Back in Anger. So it's just classic Noel Gallagher, mid-90s, when he was really just rocking the world. So let's go. Right, just drunk some more coffee, so I'm ready now. So, start 9th fret G string, okay? So we're basically D major pentatonic. Well, I've still got a bit of delay on. Hopefully that won't put you off too much. So, 9th fret on the G string, I'm going to bend that twice. So again, we're aiming for the 2 fret bend. You know, the classic kind of tone bend. He often bends quite quickly though, which is great because I do as well. That's often how I do it. So sometimes not always hitting the note perfectly, but going quite quickly. Then 9th fret on the G, 7th fret on the G. So classic lick there. Then this is a really good bit of Noel Gallagher lick. 7th fret on the D string, hammering onto the 9th. 7 on the G, 9 on the D. Back to 7 on the G. Yeah? I mean, that's in loads of songs. Then we're going to do the bend again, 9th fret on the G string, up and down, and then we're going to play 7th fret at the G. I mean, really, that's 3 separate licks effectively, but you could play them all together, you know, but that's the first 3 licks. Now, the next bit's almost a complete repeating phrase. So, 9th fret bend again. This time we're going to grab the E string. So I'm grabbing the E string 7th fret, not the B string. But I'm flattening my finger down. If you watched any of my other videos, you know I'm sometimes a bit lazy with muting the bend. So I'm trying to be much better at that. So that's one of my little foibles. Then after that E string 7th fret, I'm then going to go back to G string 9th fret, and then I'm going to play 7th fret, but both on the G string. So similar kind of feel to previous. And then the next lick's almost the same as, except we're not going to hammer on that first one. It sounds to me like he picks them all, but obviously you could hammer them. You could hammer that first one, it's not going to be massively different, but it sounds to me like he picks them. So 7 to 9 on the D, 7 on the G, 9 on the D, 7 on the G. Now this bit, really nice move here, 8th fret now on the G string. We're going to hammer onto the 9th fret, and then we're going to hit 7th fret on the G. Now it sounds like he might also be grabbing the 7th fret on the B when he does the hammer on, so we get those two notes, 7 on the B, 8 on the G, and then the hammer on. But it's really hard to hear, exactly. So either of those two I think works absolutely fine. One note is how I played it when the solo that you would have heard me muddling through at the start of this video. So that's what I decided to go through, but I think it's absolutely fine if you throw on that extra note and you do a 7th on the B and an 8 on the G. I think that sounds cool. Then again, we're basically going to start that lick again. So 7th fret bend, grab that 9th fret bend, my apologies, 9th fret bend, then grab the 7th fret on the E string, 9 on the G, 7 on the G. Okay, so that's that lick again. Then the next lick's the same, 7 to 9 on the D string, then 7 on the G, then back to 9 on the D, and then back to 7 on the G. Then we're going to do this 8th fret to 9th fret on the G string, hammer on again, then back to 7. Okay, so that bit's just the same, basically 3 licks put together as a repeating phrase. It sounds good, so why not just repeat it? And that's exactly what he does there. So if I just play that bit through nice and slowly, so this is going to be those that kind of 2nd and 3rd section there, so it's going to be. So I did one with a double stop and one with just a single note. Do whichever of those you prefer. As I say, it's very, very hard to hear exactly what he's doing, and I'm not sure he's deliberately doing one or the other either. Then we're going to do a transition lick. Sorry, I just better to apologise. That's terrible. Then we're going to do a transition lick, and then we're going to go to this really high melodic line. So this transition lick is going to be moving from this position, position 5 D major pentatonic, through position 1 D major pentatonic. 9th fret to 11th fret slide, ring finger. 10 on the B, 12 on the B, 10 on the E, and then we're going to hammer on 10 to 12 on the E, then back to 10. So that's the transition lick. That's the kind of rhythm of, you hold that D note, is a D note, that E string 10th fret, you hold that for a second before you do that hammer on, okay. Now we've got this really, really cool melodic section. So basically you could ad-lib this. I mean, this is obviously ad-libbed, so you could ad-lib this as much as you want, and I'm going to do it kind of as I hear it. There might be the odd extra note if you know that you can hear, but to me this is how I heard it basically. So I'm going to play 10 on the E, 14 on the E, 10 on the E, 12 on the E, 10 on the E, 12 on the E, 10 on the E. So like this. Yeah. Then the next bit's going to be very similar, but slightly different order. 10, 12, then 10, then to 14, back to 10, 12, 10. So the first one you go 10, 14, and the second one you go 10, 12. So the first one, the next one, then the third one's the same as the second one. So 10 to 12, 10, 14, 10, then there's another 10, then we're going to play 15, 14, 12, 10. Now, it sounds like he might be trying to hit the 10 in between that, or he might just be doing a rhythmic hit every now and again to keep himself in time, so you get this kind of... Oh, I get the right notes, sorry. Obviously, I haven't had enough coffee this morning. So, when I play it faster, I often find myself doing those rhythmic hits. So I think it's just something he did naturally without thinking about it. But I think he's just aiming to hit 15, 14, 12, and then 10. Okay, so if I just play it that final time and then that bit a little bit faster. You see, I'm doing those rhythmic hits. So all I'm doing is after each, so basically after the 15, I'm doing an up pick dead, 14, then 12. Yeah? Actually, there's not one after 12, that's a complete lie. Okay, so again, do whichever of those you prefer. Do those rhythmic hits. It sounds like he's doing them sometimes, but not every single time. Sometimes it sounds like he's trying to catch the 10 back again, so it'd be... But it's not quite that. It's never quite that. But it sounds like that might be what he's going for, or he might be just like me. When I go a bit faster, I automatically throw those rhythmic hits in. So it's one of those things, because it's an improvised solo, you know, it's not that there's necessarily right and wrong, but if you do it accurately, you would throw in those 2 dead hits there, but I've not actually tabbed that out on my tab, so, you know, do whichever of those you prefer, okay? So we actually end that again, sorry, by playing 12-10 again. So you go 15, 14, 12, 10, 12, 10. Then we continue in the same vein. So it's going to be what is effectively that second lick again. So it's going to be 10, 12, 10, 14, 10. Then we do the same lick again. So it's... Sorry, that would be... I missed out the 12, 10 at the end of the first one, didn't I? Yeah, so it's 10, 12, 10, 14, 10, 12, 10, okay? Basically that twice, and then on the third time you do the first bit the same, 10, 12, 10, 14, 10, then you do another 10, and you're going to do this bit again, 15, 14, 12, 10. And then we go into a slight slowdown and the final lick with, and this is the bit with the thick distortion, no, not distortion, sorry, the thick delay on it. So let me just play through the whole of that section slowly, okay? So the first one's going to be 10-14, but effectively all the others are going to start 10-12. So this is the first one. Solos of the picking are basically just alternate picking the whole thing. Cool. Sorry about that break there. So as I was saying, yeah, so I alternate pick it, but you don't necessarily, you could down pick it all. I think watching his, it's hard to see his hand actually, and I think he's down picking sometimes and alternate picking other times. So I think just do what feels natural to you for that section. But that's the section that I really love about this solo. It sounds great, and it's not something that you hear him do very often, so I think it sounds awesome and it works really, really well. So once we get to that section, we're now at 4 minutes 27 on the track, so we're right near the end of the song, and they slightly begin to slow down, and this is where the kind of very, very, very strong delay sound comes on, so it becomes much harder for me to transcribe. So some of this I'm very sure about, other notes I'm less sure about, and I'll let you know as we go. So this is the final, really, like, I don't know, like 10 seconds of the song or something like that, but it's actually the hardest bit to transcribe of the whole thing. But, so we've just come from the walk down, 15, 14, 12, and then 10. Then a slight slow down, we're going to go to the B string, hammer on 10 to 12, then 10 on the B, then 12 on the B, hammer on the E 10 to 12, and then back to that 12. So, and that bit I think has got really heavy delay for a second, and then we're going to go to another hammer on the B string 10 to 12, then the E string 10 to 12, 2 hammer-ons quickly, and we do that twice, so it's... And it sounds like he's letting it all ring together because you've got all of that delay going on. So rather than going... It sounds almost like he's going... Which as a transcriber is just a nightmare. But that's what he's doing. Then we're going to do another hammer on the B string 10 to 12. Then 10 on the E. Then again. Then again. Then 10 to 12 on the B, but no high E string. Then we're going to play 10 on the B. Another hammer on. So we go 10, 10, 12, 10. Then we've got the final bit, so we've really slowed down now. It sounds like 11, 11 on the G. Then 7, 9, 7, still on the G. Then bend that 9 up slowly. Repick it. 7 on the G, then we're going to do a slide. It's going to be kind of 7, 8, 9. 7 on the G, that was on the D string I should say, 7, 8, 9 on the D. 7 on the G, 9 to 11, 10, 12 on the B, 10 on the E, big bend on 12 on the E, and then that D note's the final note and we slide away to nothing. So that's the bit that took the longest to transcribe, and as I say, it really is like the final, I don't even know, 10, 12 seconds of the song or something like that. So I'll try and play it through slowly. So after this. Something like that, and that's the final bit, and that's the whole solo. So I played it through at the start of this video so you can just hear it. I will try, if I can, put up a video with me playing along with the track, but I don't own the track. I've just really got it on YouTube, so it depends on how it sounds, to be perfectly honest, whether I do that. Obviously, as I say, I'll put a link in the description to the track that I was using, but obviously with that super long title you can probably find it. So Some Might Say, live, outro, Maine Road 96, and it's the first night. Love this solo, really enjoyed transcribing it. I've got 4 or 5 other live songs that I'm going to try and transcribe as well, but hopefully they'll be as fun to do as this one was. Yeah, so that's basically it. Hopefully you've enjoyed learning this solo. I definitely did. Really enjoyed this solo. But very different to most of the other solos that I've transcribed by Noel Gallagher. Much more Oasis to come. The next song that I've just started learning is Cigarettes and Alcohol, which I haven't played since I was probably about 15, so I'm trying to learn that one again. So that will be the next, probably 2 videos will be on Cigarettes and Alcohol, and then there'll be another live track, maybe Supersonic Live, because I love that song so much at the moment. So as usual, I appreciate you watching. If you've made it this far in the video, well done. And yeah, I really appreciate you watching, and please like the video. Again, it really helps me. Please comment on the video. You know, I've had a few people say, oh, you know, could you do this, could you do that in your videos? It's absolutely fine. Always try and take people's opinions on board. Sadly, you can't act on all of them because quite often there's conflicting views, but it's always really appreciated when people do it. And yeah, so, and subscribe to the channel. Again, nearly at 750 subscribers as it stands, whatever the date is, end of April in 2017. So that's really exciting. Yeah, and I'll see you guys again soon. I keep saying yeah, I'll see you guys again soon for some more Oasis. As I say, my next video I'll put up will be Cigarettes and Alcohol, but if you're watching this in a year's time, there'll be loads of other Oasis songs. I've almost finished the Definitely Maybe album, so it's pretty exciting. And I'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.